Hello, welcome to this video. Little introduction. I am Amar Usmani. I'm the director of UK Dental for You, and UK Dental for You is a dental career consultancy based out in London, United Kingdom. A very short overview of what I'm going to discuss in the next 2 to 3 minutes. This conversation is around overseas dentists who are looking to come and work in the UK as dentists, as to how they should be planning and having frameworks around their career plan A, plan B, and plan C against the backdrop of the overseas registration ORE examination coming to an end, possibly around the 9th of March 2024. Please double check all of the information. It is my personal view, and it is always good to be double checking. If you look at some of my previous videos, you can see there you should be going to reference everything that I'm saying. It is, again, it's a layman's view, my interpretation, but based upon experience and based upon what I have learned through the years over here. So if you are an overseas dentist and you are thinking of coming to the UK and practicing as a dentist, please do your ORE application. That should be your plan A straight away. It is more important in terms of the time criticality attached to it, because in my interpretation, the ORE applications will come to an end, or should come to an end, on the 9th or 10th of March 2024. So you got some 8 or 10 months to sort out your application. For those of you who are aware of how to apply for ORE, I would say if you have still not applied, then, it's your decision, but then do it sooner than later. Don't leave things. It is your career, it is your life. Don't leave things until the end. But for those of you who are not aware of how to apply for ORE, you will need to go to the General Dental Council site and, go to the overseas registration examination, and, you can just follow through their advice, and then you will land up on a page where a form will be created, and then they will, they will create a login for you, and they will send the form to you, and then you will have some deadline to fulfill the requirements that they need to approve your application, that, okay, you are a dentist and you do have the credentials to be allowed to sit the ORE examinations. However, like with every other application, I have heard and I have evidence that even ORE application stage is taking a longer lead time because of a lot of application going through to the GDC, which means that, when you do your application, try to do it, try to follow all the instructions as per the requirement, so that there are no unwanted delays due to some errors that can happen, because we are all human beings at the end of the day. So, 2 things to remember in your plan A. If you're an overseas dentist thinking of practicing as a dentist in the United Kingdom, ORE as of now, but ORE may come to an end on around March 2024. So do your application. It looks simple, but then there can be small things where you can go wrong, and then your application can be delayed. So that is something for you to consider when doing your application. Let's talk about the more interesting bit in this video, which is plan B, because plan A can always go wrong, so you should always have a plan B. How can your plan A go wrong? First, let's look into that. Your plan A can go wrong in a way that, okay, you could not apply for the ORE when it was available. Straightforward. Go. Or you managed to send your application through, but it was too late. Go. 3, if you are lucky to have done that before the deadline, you got to pass an examination, and ORE is not an easy examination by any means. On the GDC's website, you can see the results from 2015 onward, but then I have been tracking these exams since it all started, I think, around 2010, 2011. If you take an average for the next 10 years, and again, disclaimer, layman's opinion, so the degree of error in my percentage statistics should be 10% plus and minus, okay? It is somewhere around 50, 55, and that is I'm being on the positive side. Okay, so again, it becomes a toss of a coin. If you have a 50% chances of being successful in an examination, that is, you toss a coin, you get a head or a tail, 50-50. You're basing your career on 50%. Up to you, do you want to do that? But it's a risky thing. So, as somebody whose life and career depends on it, you should have a plan B. What are the plan Bs? Plan Bs can be practicing dentistry in your country, doing post-graduation, upskilling yourself. If you love dentistry, you can finish anywhere. That should be your plan B, correct? But then, if you think that UK is the right place for you to practice dentistry, and yes, it is very satisfying, I can tell you from my own experience, it is very satisfying to practice dentistry here in some form or the other, depending on your scope of practice, then you should be thinking, if my ORE doesn't work, what are the alternatives? Unfortunately, we don't have anything specific yet where I don't want to give any information that I cannot reference. However, there were some signposts, because I have been following this law that has changed, and the ORE coming to an end, 2015 order out of the way, and then lots of changes have been happening, but changes do not happen straight away. There is always consultation done, and as a DDC registered person, I have received consultation emails in the past. Everybody does. It's not like I'm just trying to say that I'm a very important person. No, when they change a law, they do involve stakeholders from the public, from the profession, and they do consultation. And you read those things and you get an idea as to in which direction things are going. And you make your speculative assessments. When you are forecasting something that, okay, this might happen or that might happen. So there is always a probability in your projections. However, one of the good things about this new law is that now the GDC has got a lot of power to make its own rules for doing, for assessing overseas dentists or for regulating the profession for that matter. Lots of financial power, lots of powers for, until this order, the GDC had to go to Parliament for everything. Even to change the ORE, they had to go to the Parliament. But this order gives GDC a lot of power. Now, what could GDC do is up to the GDC. I'm not speaking for the GDC. However, I have gone through their consultation. I do read their articles, and I did come across a few pieces of information here and there which I have collated together to try to make sense of in which direction things are moving. To me, or the easiest way to understand the whole situation is this. If you look towards North America, if you look towards Canada, what they do is that they make you sit for an examination, which is the national board, which is integrated national board now, and then they ask you to do a DDS there, which can be of 2 or 3 years, right, in different universities. If you pass your national board, then you can apply to do a DDS course. So you have to do a course. It's like a bridge, right? They make you do 3rd and 4th year because that's the clinical aspect. And rest of the stuff, they assess you in the examination. Something like that could happen. What would that involve? Examination and going to a uni. I don't think it will involve a big examination or anything, because then it will create the same bottleneck as ORE. But again, this is a speculation. I do projections, I'm an overseas qualified dentist, and I have done MBA and have done statistics. So I can't stop this urge, we get this urge to look at data points and then, get to some information because data is king. To me, it's looking like you might be asked to do some course wherein if you successfully complete that course, then you can be registered as a dentist with the GDC. When that happens, how that happens, I don't know. Whether it will happen, I don't know. But it is looking like there is, in my opinion, I think that's where it's moving to. There might be other, options 3 or 4, but that is one option. Now, when it comes to delivering courses, the courses could happen in the United Kingdom or it could happen overseas, because it clearly states that GDC has powers. It always had powers to accredit any course to be eligible, any degree in dentistry to be eligible for registration if it satisfied GDC's standards. So it could recognize an overseas university degree for that matter. But I don't think that's going to happen, but it can happen in due course, yes, but not immediately. Immediately, the headache is that ORE can't happen. So how do you assess overseas dentists? There can be a cool-off period. There was a period between IQE and ORE where there was a transition and nothing was happening for 1.5 years, 2 years. That created the bottleneck for ORE when it first started. So a lot of things can happen, but let's assume, okay, let's make some assumptions, yeah? Plan Bs and Plan Cs are about assumptions, yeah? Let's assume that you have to do a course, just like in America, okay? Then you need to apply for that course. And if such a course happens, trust me, there will be such a huge surge in demand that those, getting admission into those courses are really, really going to be very difficult. Look at America. Look at how it is. During my time, when I graduated back in 2004 from Manipal, it was easy. Do your national boards. We used to get percentile. It was no fail and pass. Just go there, man. Just finish your DDS. Do your licensing in any of the states. You're done. Now, if you don't have an MDS, you can do your national boards, but the universities are not even going to look at your application, even for the bench test, even for the interview. Yeah, I can tell you from my experiences. So it's going to be really, really difficult. Yeah, if I'm the uni who has got a course where I get applicants, train them, and they go and get registered with the GDC, imagine what sort of applications I'm going to get. I'm going to get thousands of postgraduates from India specifically, and then maybe multiples of thousands of graduates who are BDS. And how do I decide that these 30 seats, where are they going to go? Best application wins. So you need to start thinking of that assumption turning into an event. If that happens, you need to start preparing your plan B now. Yeah? You need to get things done that will make your application, that will add weight to your application. Because if you get into that course, you are basically done, provided you fulfill the requirements during the course of your year. You will be assessed, of course, it will be stringent. But how do you get into that course? That should be your plan B. Plan A, ORE, do the application, minimize your errors. Do a solid application so that you don't end up not doing the ORE. Plan B, start preparing now, because ORE will be closing next year. Start preparing, because as time progresses, when the courses will be announced, it would, like America was quite easy 20 years ago. It is very difficult now. Okay. Even 4 years ago, it was easier than how it is now. Start thinking now, how do you add weight to your application, right? It will be like applying to international universities. Even in India, even if Manipal, I'm from Manipal, even if Manipal does that sort of a course, or AIMS does that sort of a course, yeah, or there's a course in Nigeria or in Pakistan, wherever, it will be a hot cake. It will need to have something really, really solid in your application to stand it out, to make it unique. Think about it. It's your career, and I say, it's your life, it's your decision. I don't have anything else to get from this apart from the fact that I will feel satisfied that I did prepare you for your plan A and plan B. I'm just here to share my experiences, my insights, my life experiences and professional experiences. If you are if you are thinking of coming to the UK and work here as a dentist, if you have any questions, please feel free. We have a communications and media team, and I will be very happy to answer your questions. And if you have any insight, if you have any information, it's an open conversation. I'll be very happy to take your insights on board and make them a part of my video if they can be referenced. Thank you so much for your time. Stay tuned for more videos.